Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we just hit level 100 for the 10-star bosses against Monkey D. Garp. And in today's video, I'm sort of showcasing more of the whale-centric teams and sort of big damage teams for you guys that are struggling at the back end, but you guys have the boosters, and what team to use to get as much damage as possible so your alliance members can save you. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, it helps you out, belt the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that big red subscribe button. With that said, let's take a look at the teams. Alright, so the first variation is the Int variation, and all of these teams are going to be led by NAMI. Now, if you guys saw one of my shorts that I released for the whales for these teams sort of kicked in around level 70, 75, maybe like level 80. The one team versus all with like the ASL brothers was doing very, very well, but then once I sort of hit around like level 70, I sort of just moved on to these teams. I did make a few changes, but nothing too drastic. So on turn 1 of the Int fight, we are going to use the Luffy special. That's going to start giving us the carryover. Really important that we do that early, so that way we have enough damage on the final stage. You're going to have a 2.75 times orb boost with that, and a 1.5 times multiplier. So make sure you are hitting 2 perfects every single turn. Now on this variation, you get Despaired and Special Bind on stage 2. With Rayleigh and Whitebeard, we can get around the Despair, but we can't actually get around the Special Bind. But that's okay, because we have the Orb Boost of Luffy. We're going to switch with AC Yamato, that guarantees them an Orb, and then it also gives us the Chain Boundary, which is a lot of fun. And then we can easily kill stage 2. Once we move into the final stage against Garp, we are going to have the support of Carrot, Wanda, and that Nami. It's not really Nami, but it's a Carrot support. It goes on Nami to remove 1 turn of Special Bind on stage 3. Super handy here because it can just remove that second stage of Special Bind. And then we're free to use our specials. We can remove the Defense up with Markino. We can remove the Threshold with Nami and Dadan. I have the Whitey base support on Dadan mainly because like Carrot gives Nami a tandem slot. So therefore you're only going to get 5 turns of Threshold from Dadan. So, sorry. No, actually, you don't need the Whitey base support. I was going to say I have the Whitey base support, but it's something that I've just been needing to remove. So something that I just totally forgot about actually. No, actually I did get rid of it. Okay, well there you go. With Nami, with Dadan, you get around the threshold. You have an attack boost with Ace Yamato. Make sure to use that before Dadan. You have color affinity with Yamato, with Markino, and then you have that orb boost from Luffy as well. As you guys can see here, we should with the 1.3 alliance boost hitting for something around 11 to 12 billion. So pretty nice damage from the first team. The idea here is to try and get as like much damage in as possible, so then your alliance can sort of kick in after that. So moving on to the strength now. This is the team. No real changes to this particular team as well. Everything sort of stayed the same. But what I was saying is the idea of these teams and the idea of building up your alliance boosts early to get your 3 stars with as many alliance members as possible is going to help you at the back end if you are doing a lot of runs, because that way you're going to more frequently see a 1.3 times boost when it comes to doing your regular 10 stars. If you are assisting people and you have a lot of 1.3s as well, it's going to give you more damage when you dive into an assist as well. So make sure to build them up, and if you haven't done so already, like put up a couple of assists just for your alliance members, so that way when you do get to the back end of KIZUNA and you start doing this higher end 10 stars, you are going to consistently get a 1.3. If you are doing an assist and you don't get a 1.3, you can actually just close the app, go back into the game and say no, and then just click on the assist again. It'll still be there and you will be hunky-dory. Now, this particular fight, I don't think I get a 1.3 at all. Yeah, I don't get any extra buff. And you guys will see the drastic difference in the numbers. The amount of damage loss that you lose, that 30%, is so massive that you really want to try and get as many like alliance members at level 3 as possible, so then you have a higher chance of proccing that as well. For the verse strength, we are going to come up against Ace on stage 2. He puts up 5 turns of defense up and gives us 2 turns of attack down. Tashigi on Zora gets around the attack down, and then one of the Markinos can cover the defense up. Having 2 Markinos is actually super handy for this KIZUNA. Normally it's not, but Markino covers so much on stage 2 and on stage 3 that having 2 of them is not that terrible for the team. Plus, Markino and Whipslat are actually a striker, which means they get the super class of Nami, which is actually very handy. On the final stage against Garp for the strength variation, you get binded on your left-hand column for 6 turns. You get despaired for 5, and there's 5 turns of resilience, plus a full board of negative orbs. So Markino can remove despair, she can give you a full board of recovery slots. Once you have a recovery slot on your captain, Dineen can remove the bind. That YDA support, as I mentioned earlier, it's not actually essential at all. You don't need it. And then you can pop NAMI and her super class. NAMI and her super class gives you base stats, chain boost, and a conditional boost. And then you have a tandem orb on your captain for Zoro, so that way you can get all the chain shenanigans. And then finally, we can wrap it up with Luffy, and because Dineen's an attack booster, Red Rock Luffy becomes an orb booster. He also has the base stats of Sabo for a 1.5 times multiplicative buff there. And as you guys will see, once you hit with Luffy after the super tandem, you actually hit for a lot harder with Luffy than you do with, like, Dineen, which is actually wild. So, a lot of damage there. With the 1.3, you will be doing a lot more, closer to that sort of 10 billion mark. But still some pretty nice damage there, even without the 1.3 times. And the final variation is against the Dex variation, and we did some massive, massive changes to this team. Originally, I had Usahachi, as well as the Strength Snake Man, Super Type V2 Snake Man. And I've completely just revamped this team. I decided to take off Snake Man and put on Luffy and Law. Yes, you heard that correctly. Luffy and Law in 2023. I never thought I'd see the day. But I did initially put them on for the Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin support. And then, shout out to my homies in the Alliance. They basically said, just swap with them and then you can go through the damage reduction anyway. And that way you can use the VV support. With that, it opened up the door for me using something like Robin on the final stage 2 for an extra conditional. Luffy and Law an orb boost, and they trigger Nami's super tandem as well. With all these teams, the big struggle was sort of shoehorning 2 Straw Hats into the crew for Nami's super tandem, while also making up the rest of the buffs that aren't included with Markino and Whip Slap with Dineen as well. So on stage 2, if you switch into Luffy, you are going to be able to go through that damage reduction. Utilizing Markino as well can give you color affinity, which means you hit very, very hard. If you end up seeing Dineen, she normally gives you a 3 times attack boost, but because you switch with Luffy and Law, which means that you don't actually get that, and it's a little bit of a shame. So having the support of Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin can be more beneficial there, but we do have the support of Vivi on them instead. Now, Vivi's going to just mean that, like, Dineen hits a little bit harder. Dineen hits for, like, 10% more damage. It's not that drastic, but if you could have got that 3 times attack, it would have been, like, what, 0.5 more damage, so it is what it is. On the final stage, if you use Luffy and Law, you can you can give yourself a 2.5 times orbs. Once you use Nami, you get the base stats and the chain boost. You also get the conditional with their super class. They give themselves a tandem orb. And then with the tandem orb, you can actually get Dineen to trigger and remove 5 turns of bind. With the Whitey base support, you can remove another 2 turns, which will get around all 6. And then to get around the despair, we have Markino once again. Finally, wrap it up with Robin for an extra conditional boost, and then start the chain with Luffy and Law. Hit with Robin, hit with Nami, get that super tandem popping, and then you can just tap with your 3 boosted characters, which do a lot of damage here. Like 7.8 should be cracking upwards of around that 12 billion mark, just like the first team. So hopefully you guys enjoyed these teams. Hopefully gives you guys some ideas or helps you guys out if you are looking for some high level KIZUNA 10-star runs. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.